What is going on, everybody? It is a beautiful day. Hope you guys are having a good one. And welcome back to another video. Today, nothing too crazy. I'm not doing any installs or guides or anything like that. I'm just going for a little ride. We're going to talk a little bit about this bike here. So I'm back on the Honda Magna. It has definitely been a minute since I've ridden this thing. The honeymoon phase on the new bike has definitely been causing this thing to sit a little longer than I wanted to. So I spent a good 10-15 minutes cleaning it up, wiping all the chrome off, and cleaning the paint up a little bit, airing everything up, making sure it's all good. And we're just taking it for a little spin today. Get some gas in this thing. It pretty much always needs gas. That is the thing about this bike in particular, is the mileage is not great. This V4 quadruple carbureted bike drinks gas like a mother. So we're going to get some gas here. We're going to talk a little bit about this bike, kind of my future plans with it, and what you guys can expect to see next on the channel. So I'm just going to get some gas real quick, and I'm going to pick you back up. Oh, that's it. She is struggling because I'm out of gas right now. Gotta love it. So we're going to pop this bad boy on reserve and pick you back up. Alright, we made it. I ran out of gas literally as I was saying I needed gas. Ain't that just how it goes? But, anyways, what I was saying is, it's been a minute since I've ridden this bike, and to be honest with you, I've kind of been considering what I want to do with it. Do I want to keep it? Do I want to sell it? Do I want to finish it? What do I want to do? So, I figured I'd throw up a little video here. Now, you've only seen this bike in a couple of videos, since most of my videos are usually about something, and there's only been like one or two on this particular bike. But you know, this bike's come a long way since I bought it. I chopped the whole back the whole back wheel off basically, and made my own section of the frame and lowered it. And because of that, the bike fits me great. It's comfortable. It's cool. It's different. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things about this bike that I really like. So I don't know if getting rid of it is what I want to do. I mean, the other bike, the Victory, does everything this thing can do and more, but there's something about just this thing in particular, or maybe this type of bike, or just having something else that I can kind of tinker on and mess with and change here and there that's not the Victory, that's super enticing to me. The original plan when I got the Victory, we're going to go this way here, was to get something that was super reliable so that I could spend more time doing this type of stuff without having to be down a bike. And since I bought that Victory, I just haven't ridden this thing like at all. It's infinitely more comfortable. It's quite a bit faster. It sounds awesome, and I don't know. I think I've just been so excited about that bike, and with all the stuff that I want to do to it and the potential. And there's a lot of, you know, ooh, new Bronco. There's a lot of new exciting stuff on that thing that has kept me from riding this bike. So, but the honeymoon phase is kind of wearing off officially. You know, it's kind of getting to the point to where I've ridden the bike, and I'm definitely not tired of it by any means, but I'm starting to kind of re-up my love for this thing. So I don't know if I want to get rid of it or keep it. It definitely still has plenty of stuff left to do on it. I still have to fab up a rear fender. It's been like a year, honestly, for that, because I just refuse to put something on this that I'm not 100% stoked on. That's kind of the whole MO with this bike so far. Everything I've done, from the handlebars to the coolant to getting everything together, now that was kind of pre-channel, but the whole just battery box situation on this thing took me like the better part of 6 months to design and build, because every time I would come up with something, I wasn't super stoked about it. It would work, and it was kind of okay, and it would be fine, but I wasn't like in love with the idea. So it took me a long time to do it, and I said, you know what, anything else I do on this bike, let's just take my time with it, and let's not force any decisions. Wait until I find something that I really, really like, or I'm stoked on it, and That's just been my rules so far with this particular bike, and it'll probably be my rules going forward with most projects, because sometimes you get behind, or you just, you know, you need to get progress done, or you can't have it down, so you just got to finish it and slap it together, and then those shortcuts end up staying a part of the build for a lot longer than you'd think. And I've already had a couple of them happen on this thing. So, but when it turns out, when you wait and you take your time, you eventually will come up with something that you like a lot. Like this whole coolant Stillhouse whiskey thing on the side. I never would have thought of that. I saw somebody else do something similar on Instagram, and I said, hey, I wonder if I can do that with my bike. And because of that, because I waited, that's one of the key like design parts of this bike that most people enjoy, is that, you know, that little whiskey bottle. So the fender is no exception. It's going to be a huge part of this motorcycle because there's really nothing going on in the back. It's literally like the seat and then nothing. So that being said, I did find this really cool piece of metal that I'm going to try to cut up and make work. The fender itself I already have. It's just a fender. It's a low profile, nice round fender that covers the wheel. It's the mounting system that I'm having a hard time with, because I don't want it to be cumbersome and ugly and a ton of brackets everywhere. So I've been really kind of brainstorming and taking my time and trying to look at all sorts of different options on bobbers and choppers and other kind of custom builds to see what they're using for hardware and mounting points, because I don't want it to be ugly and I want it to be kind of unique. So I did find a system finally that I think is going to work, and I'm pretty stoked about it. Basically, it's going to be the fender over the tire, and then I'm going to have like a arced bracket that goes from my rear seat support to the fender, that uses some lowbrow custom bungs and everything like that, and it should be pretty cool. It should match the end of the bike. And the main thing I'm trying to avoid is I don't want a strut going from the fender down to the swing arm, because I just hate the way that looks. I would rather find a way to mount it like on top of the fender or something like that, just because the only way I can see having, in my opinion, a strut that goes from the fender to the swing arm is if you're running like a sissy bar or something. And I don't mind those. I like them a lot. And as this bike starts to become a little bit more chopper-esque in its looks, I might run a sissy bar. Who knows? I might run like a little, kind of like a stubby square sissy bar that you can use as a grab handle to move the back end of the bike around or whatever. But as it sits right now, I'm not running a sissy bar. So the goal is to be able to have a rear fender that's super simple, super clean, and it's a design that I'm stoked about, but then also have the capability to run a sissy bar or a side-mounted strut that will go from the swing arm to the fender and then up to however tall of a sissy bar I want. Whether, you know, maybe I want to throw a backpack on it, or I want to strap like a little sleeping bag to it, or just have the capability to do it, but make the rear end of this bike kind of modular to where the fender is always there, and it protects my seat, it protects my butt, it protects everything from water, debris, or from whatever, and have it like kind of complete the back of the bike. But I also want to be able to add and remove other parts that are bolt-on that will go on the swing arm and the fender, if that makes sense. It's probably not very easy to understand what I'm saying, and that's kind of going to be one of the next videos I do, I think, is I'm going to talk about some options, probably get this thing in the shop. It does need a chain, I think. Chain's getting pretty loud ever since I changed my sprockets around. So I need to get a new chain on this thing. I need to get a new rear sprocket on this thing. It definitely needs to be detailed and cleaned. I need to go over all the rear frame section that's still raw with primer, or maybe even just some gloss black paint for now, just to kind of finish it, because this thing's getting kind of rusty. The next couple things you guys can expect to see on this bike is going to be rear fender install with that new design I was talking about, as well as getting it cleaned up, getting all this stuff painted that is raw steel. And I mean, after that, this thing should be, I would say it's in its kind of final stage. The only thing left to do after that stuff is done and painted and covered would be to rip the whole bike back down to a frame and send it out to powder coat and really get nitpicky with it. And that will be the last phase, and that's going to be that's a ways off for sure. I want to enjoy this thing. I want to ride it. So for now, I'm going to try to do the chain, the sprocket, fix anything that's broken, paint it all up, get all the raw steel covered, get this rear fender idea out of my head and into reality, put on this bike, and then I'm just going to ride it. I'm going to enjoy it and see what happens. So that's what's next for this thing, guys. Now, another update on the Victory. The last video I put a timing wheel in it, so right now that bike has better spark plug wires, it has an advanced timing wheel, and it has a Trask 2-in-1 exhaust. The bike's been running great since then. I probably won't do a video riding it, honestly, because the next mod is going to happen super soon. I'm going to be doing the cold air intake on it, and I'm going to be putting the Dyno Jet power commander onto that thing. And once I do those two things, the bike will be going in to get some dyno work and to be getting tuned, and that's already in like 10 days from now. So the next video on the Victory is going to be the Dyno Jet install, the cold air intake install, and then after that it'll be tuned and the bike will be essentially complete. So this you can expect to see the fabrication work on. You can expect to see the install videos on the Victory here coming up soon. The M109 Boulevard, my dad's bike, he's got a couple things that he's doing to that thing. I might do an update on it. He's already put a windshield on it. He's already put the luggage rack on it. We raised up the suspension, and we got the rear lowering kit taken off of the bike and put it back to stock. So you might get a video on that. And then the only other kind of straggler is I want to do a video, an intro video, on a Hellcat Red Eye swapped 1973 Roadrunner. It is a huge project that my dad's been working on for the better part of 2 or 3 years, and it's getting really close to making some key steps. So I want to do a walk around and intro video on that car, which I think will be super cool. It's not running yet or anything. It's still very much in the fabrication phase, but all of the pieces to the puzzle are more or less in the car. I'm going to end the video, guys. I got a couple more in the works, like I said. Super exciting stuff. I will catch you guys in the next one. Make sure you leave a comment down below what you guys are looking forward to seeing next, and I'll do my best to get those videos out first. Otherwise, stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.